Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the most beneficent. Honorable Governor, Chaudhry Muhammad Sarwar, Mr. Muhammad Naeem Qureshi, who is President of National Forum for Environment and Health, Mr. Ishtiaq Beg, who is Founder President of Make-A-Wish Foundation, and Engineer Nadeem Ashraf, who is Project Head of the CSR Summit and Awards 2021. Also the Honorable Ambassador of Morocco. Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon to everybody. I'll follow the example of the Governor, who's made a very short, crisp speech and conveyed the key messages. I have this privilege of addressing the summit, I think for the fourth time, and Mr. Naeem Qureshi brings corporate representatives and CSR champions from Karachi to this place and from all over Pakistan. And it's a great gathering, as a matter of fact, and working for a great cause. So this summit also is very important. I pay tribute to Mr. Naeem Qureshi for his leadership and the network that he has created for CSR. The topic that was given to us was COVID-19 and the CSR. And we were hit by the virus last year, like the rest of the world. But Pakistan has been fortunate because our fatalities have not been as high as in other nations of the world. I'll give you some statistics. I mean, the total people who have been infected so far are 576,000, deaths about 12,772, and recoveries are 539,888. Now, in Azad Kashmir, I want to tell you that we have also been fortunate because confirmed cases have been about 10,000 and deaths have been 296. So, and some 9,097 people are recovering. Now, in this regard, I want to pay special tribute and compliments to the National Command Operations Center because they provided this nexus, this leadership for guiding the entire nation. They were our compass in these difficult times, and also the NCC, the National Coordination Committee, which worked under the leadership of the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Now, let me tell you that the other parts of the world have not been so fortunate. The global figure is that 112 million have been infected by coronavirus, and deaths 2.4 million. And as you would know, that President Biden was in a vigil a couple of days ago, because in the United States, 500,000 people were killed by this deadly virus. And this number was more than the combined number of the fatalities in the Vietnam War and the Second World War. Such was the catastrophe there. And so we've been better off. But let me point out that the threat is not over. New strains of COVID-19 have appeared in many parts of the world, including here in Pakistan. And we can't rule out the possibility of a biological war or biological warfare. We don't know. I mean, for this, it was accidental. There's no doubt about this. But what if next time a hostile enemy uses this kind of virus to destroy a nation or sabotage it? Therefore, it is very important that we must invest in preparedness and response for deadly viruses, including a virus like coronavirus. Now, we're still watching COVID-19, and we would like to say that we must focus as a nation, all parts of Pakistan, Azad Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, they must focus on three areas. And these areas are health, finance, livelihood, because livelihoods have been hit very hard. I would also say that corporate social responsibility has emerged as a major factor in alleviating the suffering of the people of Pakistan during this catastrophe. And we thank them, all of them. I mean, they reached out to the corporations to play their part, because they are part of society, and therefore they have a social responsibility to their consumers, to the ecosystem where they operate, and to other people who are affected. We also have to prepare ourselves to produce vaccines so that next time we are hit by a virus like this, we have the wherewithal to combat such a virus. And a few points that I would say towards the end of my presentation, as a matter of fact, before I conclude, is that we have to boost our economy. If we do not invest in our economy, because right now our growth rate has plummeted, but there's promise. We have the fundamentals right, we have the infrastructure, and I'm sure that we can galvanize the economy, and the entire nation is confident, and we will negotiate this transition, because the human capital, the human resource that we have in Pakistan, the kind of network that we are developing all over the world, would help us revive and re-energize this economy. Let me also tell you that one of the functions that we have, the CSR, all the philanthropic organizations, and I pay tribute to Governor Chaudhry Sarwar Sahab, because he himself is a philanthropist, and he's a social entrepreneur, as a matter of fact. I mean, he's alleviated poverty. He has contributed to the alleviation of poverty, and he's addressed some human development issues. And as he said, that the private sector or these organizations, non-governmental organizations, are the most efficient vehicle for alleviating poverty. Because as long as 35% of the people of Pakistan are below the poverty line, which means that they are not earning $3.20 a day, we would remain poor. The elite, the rich people, the feudal lords, the industrial tycoons, they won't matter. What matters is these people, 35% people of Pakistan population. Having said that, let me also give you good tidings. And the good tidings are that according to a survey which was conducted by this magazine, which is called the Forbes magazine, they said that 86 million people in Pakistan have already entered into the lower and higher middle class. So that's an engine which can not only take care of itself, but it can, as a matter of fact, eradicate poverty. The other thing that we have to do is that we have to bring informal economy, undocumented economy, into the tax net. Because Pakistan is a rich country, but its wealth is hidden. Our GDP is US dollars 284 billion, and it should be 1 trillion. As a matter of fact, if all these businesses and enterprises and the agricultural income and industrial income is fed into the mainstream, economic mainstream, I can tell you that we would be able to alleviate poverty, and corporate social responsibility would be a helping hand in this regard. Let me also tell you that together, the cumulative losses of FATF and counter-terrorism are more than 500 billion. And because of this FATF restrictions, we have lost already 38 billion US dollars. And when we count or calculate direct losses from our war against terrorism, we say 150, and I would say it is $500 billion, because they were also denied opportunities. I think that some time ago, the government of Pakistan had taken this initiative to write off debts. We should be the leaders in getting these debts written off, Otherwise, we won't be able to wipe out poverty. I'll tell you why. Because we are addicted to these debts. This assistance that comes from abroad, either it is IMF or these Bretton Woods institutions, or it comes from bilateral sources, and we remain indebted to them. I mean, this year the figure is 112 billion, and it can, by the end of the year, it can be 118 billion. It's unaffordable. And if we carry this burden, we will never be able to alleviate poverty or bring Pakistan in the comity of nations which are prosperous. These are odious debts, and they must be written off, because they were in the first place extended to Pakistan to make Pakistan a part of the anti-communist bloc, and they were in fact given to us so that we remain perpetually dependent on the Western donors. And we have developed what I call the Stockholm Syndrome. I don't know how many of you are familiar with this expression. Stockholm Syndrome means that when somebody takes you hostage, the victim falls in love with the hostage, or develops a bond with the hostage. So we have developed this bondage, this bond with our creditors. This must be cast away. And the good news is that I have run out of all points. And what I would like to add is that we do not need reprofiling of debts, but debt write-off. And my last thought with you, to all the champions of CSR, to all the people who are present here, who are working for a stronger, greater nation of Pakistan, attain economic sovereignty. Attain economic sovereignty. That is a strategic priority. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so very much. This was Sardar Masood Khan Saab, President Azad Jammu and Kashmir. Thank you so much for